You are listening to the Lawyer Stories podcast with host Benny Gold. Lawyer Stories was founded in July 2017 and is an expanding global network of lawyers and law students sharing their personal journeys to the noble profession of the practice of law. Join us on this podcast as we dig deeper into these stories and hear from lawyers and law students from around the world in all areas of the legal profession. Here at Lawyer Stories, we believe that every lawyer has a story. What's yours?
Welcome to the Lawyer Stories podcast with Benny Gold. Today we welcome in Teresa Diep, founder of Outlier Creative, co-founder of Justice HQ, and VP of EsquireTek. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me on the show.
Good. Did I get the intro correct?
You did. Yes.
All right, good.
VP of Marketing. So VP of Marketing of EsquireTek.
VP Marketing. I ran out of space to write that in there. You're a very impressive young lady, and we're glad to have you here with us. Thank you so much for.
Thanks, Penny.
I know how busy you are, so thank you for being with us.
No, thanks for having me.
And actually, before we jump into my questions for you, I actually just want to say, like, on the Lawyer Stories record here, like, thank you so much for your support over the years. We're coming up on 5 years from the Instagram account in July. That's like 3 or 4 months. And you sent me the first video ever posted on Lawyer Stories where I wasn't actually sure if I wanted to post a video on Lawyers on the Instagram feed. And you were like, no, you got to post this. This is great. This is this Bob Simon. And, that opened it was a great video. Those guys are very impressive, and it opened a brand new dimension for us. So thanks so much for all your support with Lawyer Stories, all your ideas, and we really appreciate it.
5 years, that's quite an accomplishment. You should be very proud of what you've done.
In July. Yeah, it's a slow roll, but I love it every day.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. I forgot about that. That was the first video on Lawyer Stories.
Yeah. That's when I knew I sort of have been doing something that's a little bit special. And I don't say that to brag, but I say that because I really enjoy it. And I enjoy, highlighting and sharing people's stories. So you just got back from the Bourbon of Proof, put on by no other than Bob Simon himself, superstar.
Yes.
And it looked amazing. I mean, I saw it on Instagram. And so how was it? Have you dried out yet?
I think I'm still recovering. It was a whiskey fueled 2 to 3 days, but we learned a lot from each other.
That's great.
We had about 150-ish attendees. Bob's really good about being open to trying new things, and conferences have traditionally always been in hotels and boardrooms and conference rooms. And it's refreshing to take it outside of that and take it on the trail. It was such a cool experience. We got to meet attorneys from all over the country. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of people flew out there. It was Kentucky, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I think I saw somebody say that was the best CLE they ever went to.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
Yeah. Did you find a certain taste for any type of bourbon? Anything you particularly enjoyed?
I love all bourbon. I don't remember tasting too many of them. I was trying to be good. I mean, I was helping organizing it, so I couldn't really partake on too many of the tastings, but it was a really good time.
So yeah, the care package looked really cool too. You came in, I saw somebody posted that looked awesome. By the way, your videos, if you're producing those are very clear and concise. So well done if that's you doing those. So you're a creative genius in the legal world. You work with a lot of high-end attorneys. You're out there in California.
Yes.
What location in California?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay.
We service law firms all over California. We have firms that we represent in Northern Cal. most of our attorneys that we work with are in LA and San Diego. But we work with some of the best, biggest, brightest firms, and it's such an honor for us to be able to do that.
Yeah. So like, how did you know? Like, I ask people on the show, when did you know you wanted to be a lawyer? Like, when did Teresa know that you wanted to be creative and use that as your career path?
Yeah, what's interesting is that I never really thought that I would do this for law. I've always been interested in film and art, photography. My dad was an artist.
Wow.
And I knew Bob Simon way back in the day. And he asked me if I wanted to join the firm and start working on some projects with him. And at first it was, help me with some marketing things. But I said, if I'm going to do that, you need to be open for me to think outside the box. And he was completely for it.
Totally.
And Bob and I think very much alike. So it was a really easy way to like work with somebody who embraces new ideas. And so we really tested the limits of what a law firm can look and appear. And we were the first ones to do like the unofficial TikTok. I think like 6 years ago, we did a lip sync, and that was before TikTok ever existed. And that just gave us so much exposure. And, it was just really fun to be able to think outside of the box and do some crazy things that you wouldn't think law firms would or could do.
Yeah, but Bob allowed you to do that. So like you were able to do that so that was actually my next question. Like, how did you know you wanted to work with lawyers? I know you said you were creative, and like, it kind of just sounds like it just came about.
It did. And, the space was kind of, it was needing that, I think that there was so much opportunity. They were craving some creative ideas because the traditional type of marketing for law firms is changing. And when I came on board, it was just like, man, this industry is starved for creativity. So let's start something where we can help other law firms do the same. And so that's really where Outlier Creative was born.
Yeah, that's amazing. So like, is there any particular projects so far with Outlier that you're most proud of?
That's a really tricky question, because we have so many things that we do that are different and proud in different ways. I think the most proud moment that we had was probably winning the Golden Gavel Award,
right,
which is, the highest award for legal advertisement. And it was, we submitted some of our samples thinking that there was no way that we were going to get selected. And then we made the cut. We were actually one of the finalists.
Wow.
And to be able to win an award after being a finalist was like a very surreal moment, being in a room full of advertisers who spend millions and millions of dollars on the creative. And you've got this tiny little agency of 25 people with very small budgets, winning this. It was just kind of it's still a very proud moment for me, and surreal.
Yeah, no, you should be very proud. I mean, I'm blown away by some of the things I see that you guys do with the firms. All the videos and everything are so crisp and clear. It's like a different level. So congrats on that award. That's incredible. So like, what advice, like as a creative person in the legal industry, would you give an outdated law firm who maybe needs to revise their marketing?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I've worked with and consulted over 100 law firms since Outlier has been born. And I think the consensus is that people want to take some risk, but they don't know how to do it. They want to appear more up to date and more modern, but they don't know how to do that.
That's interesting.
And I think the landscape of marketing is so different now from what it used to be. You can have smaller budgets, you can leverage social media, and you don't have to spend millions of dollars to get cases anymore. So my advice, the first thing I always tell people is you need to identify who your target audience is, what your business model is, and move on from there. And when you can establish that, you know who you're speaking to, then that's when you get into your marketing strategy. But first and foremost, you have to know what that is. And some people, honestly, it's a simple answer, but people don't think about it. They're like, oh, who is my market? You know, it's really interesting.
Yeah, no, I think you actually hit it on the head when you said they don't know how, because here, like at Lawyer Stories, I kind of find myself in the marketing area too. And I do see some people come in who want to be on the podcast. And I think like that's their way of sort of expressing themselves in like in a way that's different, because you find some attorneys who've been around for 30, 40 years and they're like, why would I want to talk about like why I became a lawyer? Like, why would I want to go on a podcast? But I do find that. So I think that's super interesting. And I think that's so valid when you say they don't know how to do it. So you're there to lead them through and say, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to make your videos look really good. And, you're going to crush it.
Yeah. I'm going to make you look good. I'm going to make your firm look good. You know, we're going to have a purpose to everything we do. Yeah, absolutely.
And your website is really nice. So I actually went on there. I was like looking around a little bit, and I really liked a quote, right? So it said Renegade. what is it? What?
I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen our website in a long time. I hope it's
all right. Well, renegades, risk takers, and rule breakers power this grid of right brain energy. We are a band of storytellers and artists to shift the narrative on how law firms should look and transmit their message. Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, we named it Outlier because we're all a little bit like outliers.
And you want to name it Renegade, like Renegade Creative?
Renegade would have been cool. I felt like Outlier was just like, I don't know, there was a certain sound to it that I loved. But, I think we approach everything a little bit differently. I think we look at things that are done well, and we always look at how we can do it better. Or we look at things that are not done well and figure out a way to make that better. And it's always an approach of how do we do things differently? How do we do our videos differently?
Right.
Can we have the highest quality of video? And I think most people, unless it's a commercial, they go with low grade video quality. Our production company, when we go and produce things, we shoot on really high production cameras because we have a certain look and certain vision that we want for our creative.
Right.
And that was never seen. I mean, you see that a lot now. I think that, like I said, the landscape of marketing has changed so much. But before then, people were doing very low quality creative. And now people are setting the bar even higher and higher.
Right. And I think it's
really exciting to see.
And would you say that's like important? Because I think with this generation, millennials and everything, I think that like social media and everything, like that's what they're into. Like you have to have these TikToks and clear photo and clear video, right? So what you do actually is really in line with what is needed today.
Yep, exactly. Do you ever like stumble upon a photo that someone has and it's like low quality, like kind of grainy, and you look at it and you're like, oh, their headshot's outdated. It's not a bad headshot, but it's outdated. Right. And that's what people kind of perceive it to be. And so that's why the things that you put out have to have a certain quality.
Yeah. I mean, I look at your videos and imagine how cool it would be to be in one of them because of how amazing the quality is. Like,
oh, that's so
there
sweet.
It is. No, because I've done this podcast. I love this podcast. I love my guests. I love this community. Love is a strong word, but to see like how clear and crisp and your videos are, you do a great job.
Thank you. It takes a whole village, really. I mean, I have a very talented team that are good at different skill sets. So when you look at that video, there's somebody who's in charge of the lighting. There's someone who's in charge of the camera operating. There's someone who's directing it. There's someone who's like writing, possibly a script if it's a scripted, type of video. So there's a lot of hands that it actually changes through before you see that final piece. So yeah, it's a very exciting process. And then that's how you get the really good quality. And I think it's, things that you can do on your own as well. I mean, you don't need to have an agency do it. The iPhones, the new cinematic modes are insane.
Yeah.
Really good.
I have like a 13. I don't think it has like the cinematic mode, but
oh, it should. Yeah, you should look it up. Yeah.
I'll just actually text you for advice on how to use it.
Yeah, there you go. I'll jump on a Zoom with you, figure it out.
Yeah, of course you will. You've been so helpful to us. You're incredible. So you won that big award, the Golden Gavel. Was there any drama like there was a few nights ago at the Oscar Award?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I wanted to slap a few people, but no, I didn't actually do it. No, I'm just kidding. No, okay, it was...
So tell us
there was no drama.
Okay, good. No drama is good. So tell us about, you work for like a few, we listed a few different businesses at the front of the show. Obviously, listeners to Outlier Creative, Justice HQ, EsquireTek. Tell us about EsquireTek. We had Pratik on the show. Very impressive young gentleman. Love what he's doing.
He's a gentleman, but I don't know how young he is.
Okay, well, that was sort of a compliment, but he's doing really good things. I'm excited to see his company grow. So, like, tell us about what you're doing for them and like what's going on over there.
Yeah, I took a leap of faith. I really believe in the tech that is behind EsquireTek. I believe in Pratik Shah as a CEO, and just like the agency, we're moving things forward. I think that technology is going to move the practice of law forward. And when he pitched me the idea, before it even, became a company, I was like blown away over how simple yet complex the technology was. Simple on the user end, complex on the back end, but how functional and useful it was.
Okay.
And I knew at that point that it was going to be a game changer. And so when he asked me to come on board, I already had the agency going, and I said, I'm going to take a leap of faith and go all in with EsquireTek. And that's what I did. And so I'm their VP of marketing. I oversee all the marketing efforts.
Amazing. How many people does he have working there?
We have a full engineering team, and then we have a sales team, and
so did he have to like explain what discovery was? Like, why don't you tell us what EsquireTek does?
Yes, so we automate written discovery. So we take documents from opposing counsel. Just everybody knows written discovery is a pain in the ass. And when you get that document, which is usually PDF, you have to copy and paste. And in California, you have to put it on pleading paper, which is the formatted where it's the numbers on the side. I'm sure you've seen those before. What EsquireTek does is our AI machine extracts those questions and puts it on our platform, and you can work straight from our platform. And you can send questions to your clients, and they can receive it on their cell phone.
All confidential.
Answer it on their cell phone. All confidential, all HIPAA compliant. And the best thing, I think what lawyers really love about it is the objections. So you can add you can customize objections, or we have a list of the objections that you can use. And it's one click, and you can basically complete discovery in a third of the time that it used to take you. So yeah, it's a real time saver.
What about so it's interrogatories, or no? That doesn't have anything.
Yeah, special rogs, form interrogatories.
It's crazy because I worked at a small law firm. I always thought I'd be a personal injury attorney, to be honest. I don't
really been a good one.
I don't actually use the term "to be honest," because you always like to assume people are being honest, right? But I always thought I would be going, because I love torts, products liability in law school. I thought I would be a personal injury attorney. But then when I sat down and I had to write like interrogatories and I saw boxes of discovery, I was like, yeah, this isn't, this is awful. So now with EsquireTek, I'm like thinking about, oh, maybe, I could get an account and go back into it, right?
I think you would make a great one. I mean, you have the empathy, you have the work ethic. Now you have a big community behind you. I think you can definitely do it.
I appreciate that, Teresa. So that's awesome. Like, I think Pratik and you're doing amazing work. He has like, you're kind of like a legal artistic legend right now in the community. So that's really good. So speaking of legends, Bob Simon and you co-founded Justice HQ. Like, how did that come about? Just tell us what it is real briefly.
It is a collaborative community in which on a daily basis, you can communicate with attorneys from, most of our member base is in California right now, but I think the bigger vision is we're going to be nationwide, and you can communicate with like-minded attorneys, people who have real specialties that you may not have, and collaborate and have support. And we also really focus on for new lawyers, resources, and provide guidance in really building out their practice.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And is that only California?
California for now.
Okay.
We do have some out-of-state members, but our physical offices are in California. We have our HQ in Torrance that's opening up pretty soon. We have a downtown LA, Orange County. San Diego's coming online this year as well.
Okay.
So
awesome. So what else do you have in the works?
Oh God. So I'm part of this, the planning of Mardi Gras, one of the biggest ortho spine conferences in the country, which is really fun. We've got some great headlining artists, which I can't say yet until they sign on the dotted line.
Well, you know what? Last year was pretty incredible. You had Nelly and Florida, I believe. So
yes,
I mean, they're on that level. Like for me, Nelly and Akon, I might have a Nelly, or actually I might have an Akon station on my Pandora, just so you know. But like Nelly's dope. Like I love Nelly too.
So good, right? Yeah. This person will blow your mind.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So we're working on that, and as soon as that's solidified, we're probably going to make that announcement really soon.
Well, I hope we get to do another post for you guys about Mardi Gras.
Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a 2-day conference all about orthopedic spine injuries. We have doctors and attorneys that come to this. We're doing a spine lab where we're going to have real spine procedures done on cadavers with medical doctors. And yeah, it's going to be really cool.
Wow. So where do you see yourself and like Outlier in 5-10 years down the road?
Oh God. I think EsquireTek is really going to take off. Yeah. There's some products that we're working on right now that, we're not ready to talk about, but when that does happen, I think it's, if it wasn't groundbreaking already, it's definitely going to be once these we're making the release on this product. I think Justice HQ is going to continue to grow. Outlier Creative is, we grew about 233% from our first year. And now we're just starting to catch our breath a little bit. But I there's really never a dull moment on that side. We're all constantly busy. Yeah.
So like, what's your favorite part of it all? Like working with all the attorneys and like.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part. I started the agency really wanting to level the playing field for attorneys who didn't have big budgets. There, as you know, I'm sure in your state that there are a handful of attorneys that kind of dominate the advertising. And it takes away from all the small to medium-sized firms that really don't have a level playing field. And I think Outlier Creative, we want to change that. We want to give people opportunities to make a name for themselves, and through very creative ways, leveraging social media, leveraging videos, leveraging documentaries. But yeah, that's where I see us going in the next 3 to 5 years.
That's awesome. Well, Teresa, I want to let you know, I know you're so well connected, but if you ever see an attorney in your area or elsewhere that you want me to connect you with, like, I love doing that. Like, I get so excited when I can connect two people together for the purpose of like creating good. So like I will always do that for you.
I know you actually connected me with Jordan Jones, who I love, by the way.
Love him.
He's such a great guy.
He's my closest friend that I never met. Those two things, like he's like, you know, in this this crazy internet era, like, you know, I've never met Jordan, you know, I've known him for so long, and we've never met. Maybe we will.
I know. You should, when you come out to Mardi Gras, I'm going to say when you come out to Mardi Gras, you'll get to meet him, because I'll definitely be there.
Yeah. No, he's great. Yeah, I'm glad to connect you with anybody. Was there anything else that you wanted to say about Outlier Creative or EsquireTek or what you're doing? Mardi Gras?
You know, when you ask me that question about like, what are some things, or in 3 to 5 years, what do we see as? I really would love to see one of our documentaries on Netflix. That would be a dream for me.
Really?
Yeah, you know, we do a lot of documentaries right now highlighting certain cases, and
wow, okay.
I would love to see one of our mini documentaries or full-length documentaries get on Netflix or Hulu. We did a really impactful one on RGB when she died. And we also did one on the UCLA case. I don't know if you heard about it, but
yeah, you actually told me about it.
Yeah. So I would love to see that on Netflix and Hulu, and you know, I think we'll get there one day.
I think you definitely will. You have a lot of time and you have a lot of skill.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're doing great work. And again, like, we really appreciate you here at Lawyer Stories. So
this is the place to be. I mean, you created such like a big community. I mean, I remember, you know, like you said, when we met, was it 6 years ago, 5 years ago?
No, it was like 4 years ago, 4 or 5.
Was it 4? It seems like longer.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm one of those guys that you feel like you know forever.
Yeah, totally. But look at where you are now. I mean, you've created such a, you know, a large community of diverse attorneys. It's so great.
I love diversity, and I'm having fun. I love meeting people from all different places, and you know, hearing their stories. Everybody has a story, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and we all need to share them. That's it. We all need to connect through a personal, in a human way, right?
I love it.
You're doing the same thing with Outlier, and you're sharing stories in a video format that's very clear. And you know, that I think that's one of our big connections, and I definitely appreciate, you know, you sort of helping us along too. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if there's nothing else that you really want to get out to the Lawyer Stories community today?
I think we're good. I mean, I think we covered everything, and this was really fun. Thank you so much for having me on. Of
course. Thanks for the tremendous work you're doing. Stay right there. And Lawyer Stories community, wherever you are in the world today, enjoy yourselves. Cheers.